Welcome to A Clinical Approach to Momming podcast. On today's episode, I have Ashley from Making Motherhood More, which is a wildly successful TikTok channel that I've been obsessed with. And I'll let her explain more of what she does. But what I have seen is that she really goes against that like toxic mom culture and shows us how to do mindset swaps for our negative thoughts and then swap for positive thoughts, which in turn turns into positive intentions and then actions so that we can just feel better and make the best of our life for ourselves and for our children. I'm going to let you tell us a little bit about yourself before we just get into chatting. So, you know, where you're from, how many kids you have, all that good stuff, what you do.
Okay, so my name is Ashley and I have 3 kids and they're spread out. So I've got a whole range of, I've got a high schooler who's 15. That's my oldest daughter.
Oh, goodness.
And then our middle son is 10. And then our youngest is preschooler and he's 4. So we have everything from preschooler to that like tween in between trying to figure out who he is age. And then we have full blown, sassy teenage daughter.
So you have your hands full is what you have.
All out at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah. You have your hands full. Wow. Now, where are you from?
Northern Indiana.
Oh,
so,
cool. Okay.
A little bit outside of Chicago, maybe like a 45-minute drive from Chicago.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. So suburbs in Northern Indiana. So it's already freezing here. I think, the high Friday is like 20.
Yeah.
So a little chilly, but we get all the seasons. So
I was watching one of your videos, I think it was like September or October, and you were going to the gym and you were like, it's freezing. And I was like, oh my gosh, where does she live that it's that cold already? But I was just excited to see you get out at that time.
So the wild thing is the high was 70 on Wednesday.
Oh my gosh.
Just this past Wednesday. So that's the Northern Indiana. It was cold in September, but then it got warm again. And then it got cold and warm again. And so it was 70 Wednesday. And then today it's in the 30s.
Wow.
Yeah. So you just never know. You get ready for every season.
Yeah. You just layer and get like prepared for the illnesses that come with like
all of the above. And there's, every coat is right now out because we're in that in between. So you might need a spring jacket, a rain jacket, or your winter parka. Depends on the day of the week. So. Oh
my gosh. So I am, like I had said in the intro, like I stumbled upon Ashley's TikTok, just like looking at like mom talks and, whatever that hashtag is, mom talk and like mom mindset and all that kind of stuff. And, with a clinical approach to momming, like our whole thing is always looking at ways to feel better as a mom, using proven tactics to feel better. And what struck me was all of these like little things, it seems each day that you do that builds up to doing better, like feeling better. So, getting to the gym and, I love your pre-workout, getting your pre-workout, like making sure that you're spending time with your family, like doing the laundry, but then you're putting it down and saying, I'm going to spend time with my family, so it's like such a nice variety of just seeing like the ins and outs of motherhood, even, when you're feeling stressed or tired, being vulnerable and showing that. So I've just been obsessed with like, your TikToks from when I first found you. And so my question is, what made you come up with the idea of making motherhood more? What was it, a light bulb moment? Was it something that like came over time?
Yeah, I guess I had seen, typically the motherhood post is something of I can't go to the bathroom by myself, or it's something where it's some complaint and we're relating because it's similar. And I just got to the point where I was like, we should come up with solutions, or also look at, is it really that big a deal? Or,
right.
It was sort of like, if I was seeing it on my screen and it was bringing attention to it, then that's what I was focusing on. And so I got into what can I focus on? Let's focus on, good stuff or stuff that needs to be done, as opposed to looking at all the problems. If there is a problem, then it's more, how can I figure this out, as
Right.
opposed to I'm a victim of motherhood.
Right.
Um, I think so much of it is the victim mentality. Like, there's nothing I can do. I have to be overwhelmed. I can't get dressed. I can't shower regularly. It was sort of the extreme. And I never wanted my kids to feel like I was a victim of them.
Right. Yeah, that's huge
And
what you just said.
fair to them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's crazy. I never actually thought of it that way. Like, there's always so much emphasis that your kids are watching you all the time. People don't even realize how much that their kids pick up. So to make sure that your kids don't feel that way is just such a huge thing. I like the way you said that. That really summed it up. So I know that, momming isn't easy. It's hard. There's a lot that goes into it. You're a wife, you're a mom, you work, if you work as well, there's just so much. So what really gets you through those tough times?
I think just not focusing on what should be and sort of focusing on what is. I started my motherhood journey. I was married to somebody different at the time. I married very young.
Mhm.
Very, very long story, but I was on my own when I was 4 months pregnant with her.
Oh,
So
wow.
started off on my own, and sort of I figured, had to figure it all out. There wasn't help, there wasn't a co-parent, there wasn't anything like that. So it was more just, if I had been looking at what other people had, I would have focused so much on that, as opposed to what I needed to do and the mom that I needed to be. And I think that's with all of motherhood, even if you are married, regardless, or you have a partner, a co-parent, regardless of what they're doing, it's more really about what kind of mom do you want to be?
Yeah.
What kind of memories do you want to create? What matters to you, as opposed to worrying so much about, well, what are they contributing? What are they doing? And I sort of look at, my relationship with my kids as something that I need to figure out for me. And
Mm.
if it's important for me to read to them every night, then that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to focus on if anybody else wants to read to them. That's just,
Yeah.
I think everybody's sort
That
of,
is such a mindset shift, because I think there's so many moms that are like, why do I always have to do the bath? Why do I always have to drive them here? Why do I have to do this or that? And like you said, since you brought that up, I was watching one of your TikToks where you were doing that mindset swap of like, why do I always have to do bedtime? And instead the swap is, I'm honored he chooses me. Like, he didn't choose like his older sister to read him books. He didn't choose his father. Like, he wants to be with you. And so I think it's so important to look at that. And, moms can have tough times. You can feel bad. You can vent. That's okay. But when the majority of it is that poor me mentality, then you're going to feel, for lack of better terms, like crappy all the time. I hate to like, but, and so those mindset swaps, I love those. I can't wait to see more of that, because that there were some things in there that I took, and like the next time I was having like some type of struggle, I said, okay, wait, what would Ashley say, like, to swap that? And it really helped me. And I think that's what's cool too, is like, you look at all these moms on TikTok and Instagram and whatever, and you're only seeing their best. And so everybody thinks, oh, well, this is what motherhood's supposed to be like. You're either seeing their best, I feel, or you're seeing their worst, and you're not seeing that in between, those solutions. And that's really what you bring, which is
how
cool.
to get there. Yeah. So you're either watching somebody and you're like, oh, I could never do that, or I don't know how she's that together right here.
Right.
She, is ready during the day, but you didn't see them curling their hair with two toddlers screaming in the background.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
But you make it through and you're like, okay, well, this is what I'm doing. This is the routine. And so yeah, I'm hoping
Yeah.
to bridge that gap of what can we do now with what we have too. I just saw a TikTok that I wanted to stitch here. I'm actually going to do that after this podcast.
Okay.
Of this mom who's so upset and crying. She's gone back to work and it's her second week back to work. And she's obviously, I mean, she's having a hard time with it. That's a hard job. And all of the comments are, well, that's our society. We shouldn't have to go back to work this early. And I just like want to scream, and I'm going to do it. I'm like, but that's not helping her. She can't problem. So, what can we do just with what we have? And are doing it on their own. What can she figure out with what she has, as opposed to just sort of feeling like a victim and feeling hopeless. So
that's so true. And I get that 100%. And I think I've been guilty of that with like, why do we have to go back so soon? Why do we have to go back at all? I joke around with my friends. I'm like, I wish, like, is it really true? Do I really wish it was, the 1940s and I was a housewife? Like, probably not, but you can go down that like tunnel really quick, and then you don't realize, there's struggles in that too. So
100%. And I feel the same way. Like, oh, well, I was thinking, I was talking to my brother. I'm like, oh, wait, no, we shouldn't even have to work. And he's like, nobody wants to work, Ashley.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Now, do you work full-time or part-time, or do you, well, I was a teacher for 11 years. Yeah. So I was an English teacher and worked out of the house most of the time. And then I had my youngest and ended up being home. So I'm doing right now he's in preschool, but so sort of started this TikTok account and have hopefully trying to create a community of other moms sort of looking for that same thing where like, what can we do to just make our lives better? Right.
Just what can we do to not only become better moms, but better versions of ourselves and through motherhood, and sort of work together.
And this type of work is so different than like a normal 9 to 5. So like, I know I struggle with like making sure I'm consistent and doing things at certain times. It's so different than just like going to a job, showing up, and then leaving. So this is almost me just asking you personal advice. I'm sure there's other moms out here would want to know, how do you stick to being so consistent and showing up like every day or every week on TikTok? Because it's a totally different type of job than what we're used to.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I feel the same struggle. We had just this recently, it was about 2.5 weeks of just illnesses in our house. I was down, our son was down, our other son was down. I got a round of something else.
Oh my gosh.
It was just like one thing after another. And sort of, when you get in those hard things, I just sort of gave myself some grace. Almost like, hey, we're surviving right now. I like to be, thriving the majority of the time, but there has to be, at some point you got to give yourself some grace to be like, hey, we're all sick. We had, medicine all over the counter.
Yeah. So it's like that spectrum kind of like surviving and thriving. And you want to be thriving the most that you can, but sometimes you just have to survive as a mom.
Yeah.
A really good point.
Grace. And but I do have a few calendars and schedulers and sort of try to come up with a topic to stick to for that amount of time and make so many videos. But it's definitely a balance.
So let me ask you, since we're talking about some of that stuff, let me ask you about your morning, your mama morning.
Yes.
I didn't get a chance I found you after I think you started that. So I'm excited for you to do it again, or for me to join. So talk to me a bit about the mama morning, because I'm obsessed with morning routines. So I'm really excited to hear about it.
Yeah. Well, I was learning about morning routines. I've noticed that they offer so much information on this, as far as whether you're entrepreneur or businesses. Yes. And it's like, why do we not, provide this more towards moms?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I've had the exact same thoughts. Yes.
Yeah. Like somebody that doesn't necessarily want to start their own business, like, why can't we help them out? And so I was learning so much about the impact of a morning routine and how it can change your entire day. So I was thinking, okay, well, let's think about this in motherhood. A lot of times, especially if you have younger kids, or you're waking up to somebody needing you
Yeah.
immediately.
Mhm.
I don't know about other people's kids, but my children, as younger, and even still my 4-year-old, does not have a lot of patience in the morning, right?
Yeah.
I am up. I want this right now. I need, this show on, whatever, whatever.
Yeah.
They're ready. They're hungry or whatever, need changed if they're that young. And
Mhm.
so just waking up to somebody else's needs, which just I started the day drained and just reacting to everybody. And then it was, I need this signed for today. And oh, I'm packing my lunch today. I want this. And
That was
so,
huge what you said. You woke up reacting to everybody. Sorry to
yeah.
stop your train of
Oh,
thought, but
no.
that's such a profound statement. Like you woke up and you just had to react rather than like feel prepared. That says it
Yeah.
all. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely though. So I was not prepared for the day. I was sleeping into the last possible second and still tired because that's just how you feel when your alarm goes off. Whether it goes
Yeah.
off 30 or it goes off at 6:30, you feel tired either
Right.
way. So it's just that groggy, just woke up feeling. And then I was just reacting to things constantly. And by the time we got everybody out the door and I had to start my day, I was sort of already depleted. Then I read more on how we get sort of decisioned out, I guess.
Yes.
You've made so many choices and you sort of just tire your brain out. It tires your brain.
Yeah. And
All those.
there's like scientific backing behind that,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I think, what is it? Decision fatigue? Is that
yeah.
okay. So I was like, how can I limit the amount of decisions I have to make in the morning?
Okay.
So figuring out what book I wanted to look at in the morning, I would have it all set out. I wouldn't have to think about where my pen was. I would have a pen out. I would already have my outfit picked out. So I didn't have to make that decision. So I was just trying to limit my decisions in the morning so
So it's almost
that,
like an autopilot in the
yeah,
morning. Okay.
yeah, I added the workout to it. That sort of even happened on a fluke. I enjoy working out, but I was always told myself, like, I don't wake up that early. I'm not a morning person. I sort of convinced myself of that.
Right.
And one morning I was like, I've got to get this in. We don't have time in the night. All three of my kids are in sports, so our act.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to fit in and just see how it goes. And I had twice the amount of energy, even though I woke up an hour and a half earlier.
Yeah.
So I sort of just started, it was kind of just on accident, just reading information and trying to apply that to my own life, and sort of turned into this mama morning. And I got a rhythm and I write it all down, how long I'm going to do everything, how long it takes to drive to work out, how long is the workout, what book am I going to look at. So I try to fit in a workout, sometimes longer, sometimes shorter.
Mm-hmm.
I read something positive with how I want my day to go. I really like Emily Lay's Less is More book. I always
Okay.
very peaceful, and she sort of has the idea too of that enjoying where you're at, and sort of less rush, less busy. So I read that and then I get myself ready.
So all those things you're doing, there's actual real science behind. So like getting your body moving in the morning obviously gets your hormones going, getting up early, and like you're going out, you're getting that like morning light that helps with your cortisol production and other neurotransmitters. And then reading something that helps put you at ease or helps you show gratitude. When you show gratitude, that helps increase those positive neurotransmitters in your mind, the dopamine, serotonin, that's going to increase it. So, people think, oh, everyone says to make a morning routine and do this. It does work because it's scientifically proven that it will work. So, it's such a good thing to just challenge other moms, like anybody watching this. Start small, and I'm sure you didn't start every single thing at once. You start with maybe just waking up a little earlier and having some time to yourself, waking up a little bit earlier and reading, then you add your workout in and just like gradually build upon it. And it's amazing where where you'll get. Like you'll feel so much better. And I think people don't realize just making an extra 15 minutes in their morning. It doesn't have to be a huge workout. It could be a 5-minute yoga stretch, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I started just like stretching and
Mhm.
then like, okay, now I'm going to go for a walk during this time. And you
Okay.
build that habit of
Yeah.
start moving during this time. And then you will find that you sort of get the energy and motivation of like, I want to try a little more. Maybe I can run this far or whatever it might be, whatever,
Yeah.
you're into, but just moving your body just gave, a lot more energy for the day.
Yeah.
And I like
What's
my biggest thing in terms of like motherhood and my kids was I noticed how I woke them up. And that was a big thing that I thought about when I was thinking about, okay, this isn't working. And so it was one of those things instead of being, woe is me, mornings are so crazy. Like, oh, 3 kids and 3 different schools. And this is just
oh
crazy.
my
And
gosh.
this is how it is.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, what can we do? Because this isn't working. I was cranky. I was snapping at them. Like, hurry
Yeah,
up and
then
get
you feel guilty. Then the mom guilt sets in.
yeah, then they go off to school and you're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I yelled at them right before I sent them to school. And you're feeling bad because it was crazy because everything was rushed and reactive. And so now it's sort of a team effort. Sort of the night before, it's everybody makes sure that they have everything. They help pack if they're wanting to pack or if they're
Just
buying.
turn into a family routine.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
So
cool.
acted sort of everybody. It was like, I sort of sat the older ones down and was like, this isn't working, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really like the mornings like that either. I'm like, okay, so, we thought about how we wanted it to go. I have a playlist that plays relaxing music in the morning. Like it's a
Oh,
call
wow.
to just sort of get on the road and send them out to school and without the chaos. And I think everybody's really benefited from that.
And so your Mama Mornings is a program for other moms. So you have like resources for them.
Yeah, so I have a printable that sort of goes through the steps on how to set it up. And then I normally start a group every couple months where we sort of get on like a message board together and sort of cheer each other on, maybe say what we're reading or what our goal is for our morning. And so it's sort of like, oh, I got up 15 minutes earlier this day. And then, we sort of push for our goal on what our goal time is.
Oh,
Um,
wow. I love that.
so I'll plan on doing another group probably after the new year
Yeah.
and sort of get everybody on the right track with their morning.
That's awesome. And I'll make sure that like all your links are in the description for this.
Oh,
So anybody, yeah, who wants to join, I know I'll join.
yeah.
I would love to be a part of it. One of the questions I have for you, and again, like this is almost like a personal question of like, I'm a newer mom. I've been a mom for 4 years now. My son's 4. You have 3 kids, one, older teenager. That's amazing. So what do you do when you fall off? Because I know us moms fall off the motivation wagon. I feel like easier than other people because there's so many things coming at us all the time. And so I know right now I'm in a slump right now of we just got married, we had a great honeymoon, and now I'm struggling to get back to like that routine. What helps you to get back to a routine when you fall off, or what helps you to like not fall off, I guess?
Yeah, no, I mean, falling off definitely happens. We just recently with everybody being sick, we were definitely off.
Yeah.
I mean, we were watching, I mean, everything was piling up. School and homework and all that didn't stop, obviously. So it was just, we were feeling off the routine. I wasn't going to work out because I was sick, obviously. And
Yeah.
then waking up in the middle of the night with other sick kids. So it was just sort of like once everybody was feeling better, I think not beating yourself up and just sort of being like, it is what it is. Like this sort of happened. We got off and
Yeah.
the date, I'm going to kind of get back on it, and I'm going to try for, 2 days in a row or 3 days in a row or whatever it might be
I
with
like that. Yeah. Like a challenge. Like, okay, I'll try a couple days. Yeah. Cause I think when you try to say like, I'm going to get back on it and I'm going to do it for the next month or I'm going to do it forever, that's really daunting. So just
yeah,
saying like, just tomorrow, I'm going to do it. And then the next day, I will do it the next day.
yes, yeah. Just focusing one day at a time and sort of just making small goals. And then I think once you achieve the small goals, it sort of, helps you like be proud and like, okay, I did that. Now I'm going to
Yeah.
try to do another day and sort
Yeah.
of it. But yes, we're sort of in the same boat right now. And with the holiday season, it's just kind of that time. So I think
Yeah.
giving everybody grace during this time.
Yeah, and I think the new year is always a good time to start fresh. So, um, I'm definitely looking forward to the mama mornings when you started in the new year. That'll be really fun.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited.
I keep looking down for two reasons. I always have my notes, and then also I have this little guy on the monitor. He's in the other room and he's just talkative today. So if anyone
Oh,
hears behind, that's Daniel, like giving his 2 cents about everything. It's hard. I saw the one TikTok when you were trying to make one and then your son came in. It's hard to like hide from them when you're trying to do something on social media.
yeah, because they want to check it out too, and they want to be involved with mom. So
Yeah, it's hard. Oh my gosh. So, let me just take a look here. There were a couple other things that I wanted to ask you. Oh, this is like huge. So you started like doing this mama morning for yourself, right? You were like, okay, I have certain things that I want to do, and you were doing great and you're feeling better. What made it that you wanted to help other moms? Like, what was it that you said to yourself, you know what? I want to share this with other people.
yeah, well, it was sort of I guess it started off as a small annoyance and then it sort of grew. I thought the big push for moms was this is so hard. So you just need to get through the day and survive your kids, and then you need to have a drink at night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The wine culture, mom.
yeah,
Thing. Yeah,
yeah,
it's a lot on social media. Yeah.
yeah. So that was a big thing. My mom was an alcoholic for my whole life.
Oh, wow.
And passed away, yeah, almost 2 years ago. And I was just, I think it honestly came from a lot of anger. I was like, why are these women telling moms to drink every day? Please don't do that. And so my thought was, okay, what could I do to help moms and help myself sort of overcome these difficulties and challenging times? Because I mean, I assure you, going from sleepless nights to trying to keep your eyes open till they get home in time for curfew.
Yeah.
I mean, there's in every stage, there's exhaustion, there's a lot to do with any age of
Yeah.
kids.
Managing so many emotions. Yeah.
There's a lot to manage with all ages, and not trying to be like a just wait message or anything. I think motherhood's hard all around.
Mhm.
It's just different. There's different hards. So, but either way, there's a lot. And so my thought was, how can I help manage my own stress and help moms manage their stress without feeling like I need to have a drink every night? Wasn't something that I was going to do with what my
Yeah.
mom. So that was really the big push was, no, we're not telling moms to drink every day. No.
Yeah. And that's such a huge, I 100% agree with that. And I've seen a lot of that on social media lately. And it might be ours might be a unpopular opinion saying like, we don't necessarily, I don't know if I want to use the word condone, but it's definitely not something that I would suggest doing. I
No.
wouldn't like tell my friends like, oh, you had a rough day, like go drink a bottle of wine before bed. Like it's just not, I don't feel like it's one of the best ways to show up. That's not to say that, having a glass of wine here or there, you had a rough day and you have a glass of wine, that's fine. But you're right in that there has been a lot of that on social media lately that like I call it the toxic mom culture of like, just drink. And I'm sure with your history with your mom, it's just, I could see how you would want to stray far away from that. And so you really, I mean, you've created something so special. I think your TikTok account is amazing. I think it's so positive without, it's positive without like telling moms, what's the word I'm looking for? There's some people that are just like constant positivity, and that's like all you can be is positive. And that can be toxic too, because sometimes you're going to have a rough day and you have to show that vulnerability too. So I think that your TikTok account is that like perfect medium of, hey, we want to make this better, but we also have rough days and this is how we get through it. And here are the solutions. So I appreciate all the content you've put out, and I'm excited for people to follow you and to see more. So I want to thank you for coming on. Is there anything else? Like, I feel like we went through everything quickly I wanted to talk about, but I think it was helpful for moms. I feel like we talked about some good stuff.
Awesome. Well, no, thank you so much. And yeah, I'm excited and hoping to get some more stuff out there for all the moms.
Yeah, so I'll link all of your stuff in the description, and especially that Mama Morning, so people could join that. And thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'll talk to you soon.
All righty. Bye. Thanks.